What's going on, everybody? My name is Mr. Leong, and welcome back to another video in the Startup Starter Kit, back on my channel called Business Basics. Thanks for tuning in, and today we are going to look at how to handle angry or unhappy customer complaints. In a typical business, you're going to get some really happy customers, those that are loyal, but also those that aren't quite satisfied with the level of service or maybe the quality of the products. And some may be unhappy, they'll come to you asking for a refund, and some may be rude as well. So in this video, I'm going to show you some tips and some tricks as to what to do when you encounter these situations. Let's get started. All right, let's begin. And if you haven't done so already, I would appreciate it if you consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for some more business basics content. Now, let's look at unhappy customers and how to handle them, because chances are not all of your customers are going to be satisfied with your product or your service. Challenging clients are part of daily business, and some are going to be quite unreasonable and quite annoying. There's a variety of examples of how customers can have an unpleasant experience with your business. So some examples include expectations not being met, a faulty product or poor quality, a long wait or delivery time, an inadequate response time, or maybe the service is just not done well. Maybe it was an off day and the product or service was just not up to the standards and expectations. So how you choose to interact with these customers is part of your brand and communication process. So if you choose to fight them, if you choose to be rude, and you choose to kind of give it back to them, if they're being rude and you choose to be rude back, what does that say about your brand? So in these next few slides and tips, I'm going to show you how to properly and professionally interact with these unhappy customers that may choose to be rude. But first, let me just tell you about an unpleasant customer experience, because I think it's important to really empathize with customers in order to better understand their needs and wants and how to best serve them. So I ordered this dish from a chain restaurant, and it's calamari. I love calamari. And as you can see here, this is not calamari. I paid a premium price for a product and I got cauliflower instead. Two dips, cauliflower, which is a relatively cheap vegetable, and I didn't get my calamari, even though the box was labeled calamari. Now, if a customer were to have a similar experience, they may choose to interact with the business and get a refund. Some may choose to just, enjoy the product and not go back to the business. But for those customers that choose to be angry, it's really important that you follow these next few tips in order to interact with them, because you don't want to argue, you don't want to be emotionally charged when communicating with them, because it's just going to spiral into kind of a chaos. So let's begin with the first tip. The first tip I have for you in dealing with unhappy or difficult customers when they come and approach you is to listen carefully and actively, whether it's in an email or a face-to-face conversation. Rather than try to defend your business, use this as an opportunity for feedback and to identify the problem at hand. One really important tip is to let them do the talking. Let them share their story and experience. Because when you try to control the conversation and they're unhappy, it's like they're not being heard, and they're going to continue to be unhappy with the level of service they've received. So don't say statements like, "Oh, we've never had this problem. You're the first person that has experienced this," or "it's not our fault." When you're trying to push the blame on them, this can just really alienate customers and really create a poor customer experience. So my first tip, listen very carefully, let them talk, let them share the story, and take note of the details. Another tip for dealing with unhappy customers is to remain calm. Acting overly emotional or using an inappropriate tone can demonstrate a lack of professionalism. You don't want to match their anger, you don't want to argue, and you don't want to be defensive. Sometimes you just need to swallow your pride because when you deal with unhappy customers and they're upset and you match their level of intensity, this is just going to escalate the situation and you can't resolve anything when both of you are upset. So, in this case, by acting emotionally neutral and talking in a professional tone, trying to get to the root of the problem, I find that the problem solving process is much more effective. Believe it or not, the third tip for dealing with unhappy customers is to apologize. And some businesses still don't know how to apologize. Once you understand your client's concerns, and they are legitimate concerns, you need to show that you understand why they're upset and it's up to you to make it right. So you definitely want to acknowledge that it was your responsibility as a business owner and you want to avoid blaming the customer for your mistakes. For instance, if a product is missing or damaged, you need to fix it right away. If they ordered a package and they're missing one or two items, you need to make sure that you provide those one or two items as soon as possible. Another example is long customer wait times or delays, which means that you need to find ways to invest more in these services during peak times or get self-service technology. But really, it's up to you to rectify some of the mistakes that your business has made. So you need to acknowledge responsibility if it's your business's mistake, or even if it's not. Just by apologizing and showing some sincerity, this can help you to go a long way in creating positive business to customer dynamics and relationships. So let's say we're deep in the conversation. You understand their problems, where they're coming from, and you've apologized for the problems. Now it's time to fix the issue. By providing a solution and some options for the remedy for the problem, you can really enhance the customer experience in this stage because maybe they're missing some items or maybe the product is faulty. So it's up to you to provide a variety of solutions that would make them happy. For example, you can offer a full refund, or maybe you can provide another product and simply exchange it, or maybe you can provide some store credit. So providing these solutions is a great way to help to remedy the situation. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. So when I was a university and college student, one thing that I did was I had to buy a textbook and I was looking for the cheapest rates and found the cheapest rate from a company that was in the UK. So I bought the book and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting for the book and it never came. So the book got lost in transit and I emailed the company and I said, hey, I didn't get the book and, I was wondering what was going on. Maybe the shipping is delayed, that's possible. And they said that, they shipped it out. It's, taking a long time. Why don't you wait another week or so? If it doesn't come, we'll see what we can do. So I wait a week, the book doesn't come, and I reach them and I say, hey, the book hasn't come yet, the course is starting soon, and I need to do something. So they offer two options. They can ship another book out in hopes that, this time the shipping route's going to be successful, or they can give me a full refund and then I can try to use that money to buy the book somewhere else. So I opted for the second option because the course was starting very quickly and I couldn't afford to wait any longer for another book. So I went to a bookstore. I paid a little bit more than I was expecting, but at least I have the book and the situation was resolved. I got my money back for this unpleasant experience. So you could do something similar when approaching unhappy customers and seeing what would best remedy the situation. The fifth tip that I have for you in interacting with unhappy customers is to follow up with sales, customers, and respond to negative reviews that you may see online. Because some customers may be unsatisfied with their product or service, but not so much as to actually tell the business in person. SMS notifications, follow-up emails, and surveys can also provide a platform for communication. So in this case, you want to be on top of anything you see online. If you see a negative review, be sure to respond to it as soon as possible. Because if a traveler or a customer was to see, a comment on a hotel saying that the experience was dirty and, the service was bad, that's something for you to check in with and see how you can remedy the situation. Maybe you contact them, ask them to email you, and maybe provide a complimentary service or product in order to better satisfy their unhappy experience. So in this case, by being proactive and being present online, this can help you to prevent any issues and any negative word of mouth. Because if you don't correct these issues, maybe they tell 5, 10, 20 people, and it just simply spreads and it becomes part of your brand. So be proactive in your correspondence. I also put some other suggestions that you may find uh, particularly helpful in customer service and dealing with unhappy customers. There's always opportunities for customer service training. You can use unhappy customers as a source of improvement. You can have a comprehensive returns policy to help sort of navigate the waters of unhappy customers and wanting refunds. You can set personal boundaries for communication. But most importantly, you want to understand the root cause of the frustration so that you can fix it and implement the feedback in your business. Because a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs learn the most from unhappy customers. There's kind of not a lot to learn about from your business, from your customers, if they just say, thumbs up, it was a great product or service, I enjoyed it, it was fine. There's not a lot to be learned from that. So take the time to really interact with your customers. If they are angry or upset, be calm, be professional, and try to be a problem solver in trying to resolve their issues. A little empathy will help you to better understand where they're coming from and really help to remedy their situation. In these next few videos, I'm going to be discussing a little bit more about customer service, how to interact with customers, and how to create brand loyalty for your business. I hope you stay tuned for those videos, and I thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you later, all right? Bye-bye.